This video is brought to you by Patreon. By signing up on the Phat Pack Magic Patreon, you get early access to all content, as well as grab bags of valuable cards and amazing mats exclusive to patrons. You can help keep coverage for Paper Magic alive by showing your support on the Phat Pack Magic Patreon today. Hello guys and welcome back to Phat Pack Magic. We're here at Darkside Games for their FNM Pioneer event, and we've got Ryan Marino playing Mono Red Aggro on the right, and on the left is Rob Pisano playing Mono White Devotion. And I love both these decks. I feel like the Mono White deck has really come into prominence since the new Theros set came out, giving it a lot of useful tools. So here we are, both players have their 1-drops, and Ryan's got a Soulscar Mage, Rob Pisano's got a Thraben Inspector, which made a clue token, and he plays out a Nykthos. Now, I really like the White Devotion deck. I feel like it's got a good place in the metagame, whereas the Mono Red deck can do incredibly well if the metagame isn't prepared for it. So if your opponents aren't really prepared for Mono Red, they're just going to get curb stomped. However, it can go really bad if they do have any sideboard tech. So Ryan, starting off his turn with a Monastery Swift Spirit, using a Wild Slash to curve away that Thraben Inspector. Rob is going to draw a card with the clue token, but he's going to take 4 damage from a Prowess buffed Soulscar Mage and Monastery Swift Spirit, landing him at 16. And he decides to use that Baffling End to clear out the Soulscar Mage, hoping to staunch the bleeding, but Ryan is not going to let up. He's got the follow-up with a Bowmat Courier and another Swift Spear, dealing 3 more damage to Rob and bringing him down to 13. Rob really needs to start getting a defense going, and a Thraben Inspector is a decent way to start, playing a land that's going to come and play tapped, but also gaining a clue token. But Ryan is not letting up. He's really got it going. He used another Bowmat Courier and another Wild Slash, and Ryan is just carving away at Rob's life total, bringing him down to 7 with 6 power on the board. Rob draws for turn, and he is not looking good here. He really needs to mount a defense quick. But that's just the power of this Mono Red deck. If you can outlast the opening salvo, then you're in a good place. But Mono Red, it can just come out swinging faster than you can mount a defense. I mean, I usually play control, and Mono Red is one of the hardest decks for me to beat. So it looks like Rob is trying to decide on how to survive the next couple of turns, and Daxos looks like a good way to start. And then a Mastery of the Unseen means that Daxos is going to start gaining Rob bits of life, as well as putting blockers on the field. But Ryan's swinging in, and he's showing a Wizard's Lightning, and nope, that's lethal. And game 1 is going to go to Ryan, and that was a very, very quick and very efficient game 1. And we are going to skip ahead just a little bit and head on to game 2. And here we are going on to game 2. And it looks like Rob has done a few interesting sideboard tech cards, at least from what he's told me. I'm pretty excited to see it. He's going to be on the play, and Ryan is going to be on the draw. And, I mean, that's pretty good for Ryan because he was on the draw previous game, so even if he loses this one, he'll have the advantage of being on the play in the next game. So here comes Rob, getting that Soulscar Mage out of the way as soon as possible. He's not taking any chances, but here's an Eidolon of the Great Revel. Now, Ryan's going to take 1 point of damage from that Raminot Ruins, but everybody's going to start taking damage with that Eidolon in play. And here comes Rob, taking 2 damage immediately, but he's playing out a Boros Reckoner, a card I remember back when Return to Ravnica was a thing. We used to use Blasphemous Act on that for like a 1-kill combo thing, dealing 13 damage everywhere. So here comes a Roast, and that's going to deal 5 damage to the Reckoner, and Reckoner says, I'm going to deal 5 damage to the Eidolon, but Ryan's got to follow up. It's a Bowmat Courier, crashing him for 1 damage. Both players leveled out at 17 life, and here comes another Reckoner for Ryan to deal with, and this is incredibly painful, because every Reckoner he shoots, he's taking 1 card for the removal, and 1 card for the creature. Here comes a Monastery Swift Spear, and 5 more damage is gonna be directed at that Boros Reckoner. The question is, what is Rob going to shoot off? He's gonna take, yep, it's gonna be a Bowmat Courier. And he's gonna take 2 damage from that Monastery Swift Spear. He's players are playing because they know, like, there's not really much of a decision tree. It's just play the cards and go. But Rob has got an Arcanist Owl, and that's gonna whiff. But it's still a 3/3 flyer that acts as a blocker. Well, it used to be a 3/3 flyer, now it's a dead flyer from a Wizard's Lightning. And Rob is gonna take 2 more damage, going down to 13 from that Swift Spear. Rob plays it land and pass. Look at all these lands Rob's got. Now he's just gonna start taking 1 damage every turn. Unless Ryan wants to start doing a little bit of pumpy dumpy. Nope, just 1 damage. Rob falls down to 12. And, I mean, this isn't a land at least, but it's Gideon Blackblade. And he passes the turn. Ryan goes for a Wizard's Lightning. Rob says, okay, that resolves. Ryan's like, oh, right. Yeah, Gideon prevents all damage that would be dealt on the controller's turn. Well, here's 2 damage at it. Goes down to 3. And Bone Crusher Giant sitting in the Adventure Zone. But Monastery Swift Spear has a nice little pump there because it is an instant. Looks like Robin's gonna take 2 damage up to the face. Ryan is gonna try and bypass that Gideon and just go for the throat. Here's 2 damage, and it looks like he's gonna cast the... Wow, he cast the Bone Crusher Giant, and here comes Stasis Snare, which isn't gonna deal 2 damage to Rob because it's a Stasis Snare, it's an enchantment, meaning that it's not a spell, so Rob isn't gonna take anything from that Crusher Giant. And he crashes in for 4 damage, racing Marino, putting him down to 12, and Marino looks like he's gonna start crashing in as well, going straight for the face. Both players back and forth. Ryan down to 8, barely have enough time to draw and untap. He deals 2 damage to Rob with the Remnant of Ruins, and then swings in at Rob with the Monastery Swift Spear. Rob pluses, crashes in at Ryan for 4. Ryan is down to 4. Ryan equalizes it by using the Remnant of Ruins to deal 2 damage to Rob. All Ryan needs is a burn spell and he can close out this game. But he's been finding lands and Monastery Swift Spear, so now the Swift Spears are on blocking duty. Rob pluses Gideon to 7, crashes in, Swift Spear gets in the way, and there's a very superfluous Mythos. No burn spell from Ryan, and an ultimate Gideon is going to exile the Swift Spear as Rob clenches game 2, and wow, both players just flooding out on mana in the end turn. Rob could have really used that Mastery of the Unseen, but we are going to go on to Game 3. Here we are, it's Game 3. Both players are tied 1-1, and Ryan is going to be on the play. And that's where you want to be when you're playing Mono Red Aggro. That's exactly where you want to be. So it looks like they're both keeping, and Ryan is starting off with a Soul Scar Mage. And Rob, he's got that 3-bit Inspector. Both turn 1 plays, as seen in Game 1. And like in Game 1, looks like a Wild Slash is going to carve up that 3-bit Inspector, and the Soul Scar Mage is going to deal 2 damage to Rob, bringing him down to 18. And a follow-up Get2 Lava Runner is going to be on the board for Ryan. And Rob only has a tap land and pass. That's really rough, because he's going to take another 2 damage here, bringing him down to 16. No tricks from Ryan's side. It looks like he wants to start putting more pressure on the board, maybe? And he's got a Giant in hand. So he's just going to pass the turn back to Rob. Rob, looks like he's got a Knight he wants to put out? Or maybe he's rethinking that. He knows that Ryan's got a ton of removal in hand. So he's going to drop a Mastery of the Unseen and hopefully start getting some more creatures on the board. But a Bone Crusher Giant is going to deal 2 more damage to Rob, bringing him down to 14. And another 2 is going to bring him at 12. Still no tricks from Ryan. Looks like he's saving everything. But he's going to cast that Bone Crusher Giant as a big, beefy 4/3 creature. Another land from Rob. And a Monastery Swift Spear is going to come in. And here's all the attackers. And wow! Wow! You did not expect that from Mono White. A Settle the Wreckage is going to wipe Marino's board and give him 4 lands. Wow. That is a huge gotcha moment. I mean, you're playing against Mono White Devotion. It's kind of an aggro deck. So when are they going to play Settle the Wreckage? Well, apparently it's sideboarded against Mono Red Aggro, as Rob Pisano may have just clinched the game with that play. And here's a Knight of the White Orchid bringing in an Idyllic Glade, and it's going to pump the Knight, except for a Wild Slash is going to get in the way and deal 2 damage to the Knight before it can get the counter. That's a little bit painful, but not nearly as painful as just wiping Ryan's board and leaving him with a ton of mana. And Rob, I guess he's got another Knight of the White Orchid. But the question is, does Ryan have another piece of removal? I'm sure he does. Is Rob getting another one of those Idyllic Granges? He is. And that's going to put a 1/1 counter on the Knight, unless Ryan has something to say about it. Nope. And there's another Mastery of the Unseen, which means that Rob flipping over one of those manifested creatures into an actual creature is going to gain him 2 life. A Roast is going to deal 5 damage to that Knight of the White Orchid. A little bit of overkill if I do say myself, but Ryan can still be on the burn plan. He's got a Raminot Ruins, which means that he's got 2 damage on Rob's life total. So here comes a clue token from Rob, and I'm still just flabbergasted at how crazy that Settle the Wreckage was. Ryan, using that Raminot Ruins to deal 2 damage to Rob. He does not have a lot of time, and those manifests can get out of hand really fast. He passes the turn, and Rob manifests the top card of his library. However, a Searing Blood is going to deal 2 damage to that creature, and conveniently deal 3 damage to Rob. Ryan is still on the burn plan. He is 1 life short, though, with the Wizard's Lightning and another Searing Blood in hand. This could get tight. Ryan draws. It's a Get To Lava Runner. All he needs is a little bit more damage, and he can push through that last bit of life. Get To Lava Runner has haste, crashes in for 2. And Rob, is he going to manifest, or is he going to use that Stasis Snare in hand? Looks like he's going to manifest a creature off the top of his library. Ryan says before blocks, 2 damage with that Searing Blood, 3 damage to Rob's face. Rob can't manifest it, but he does have a Stasis Snare. He's not going to chance it, because it could just be too much. Rob barely stabilized at 4 life. Ryan's still at 19, and his entire deck, I mean, he's drawn out 4 lands, so he's got a lot of live draws. Ryan is going to have to deal with a couple manifested creatures. And it looks like Rob has a Walking Ballista in hand as well. Rob passes the turn. Here's a Soulscar Mage from Ryan. He can just get 1 damage through with that Soulscar Mage. That Wizard's Lightning becomes lethal. But Rob is quickly falling out of reach, because manifesting those creatures, I mean, the question is, are they actual creatures? Well, Baffling End is going to take care of that Soulscar Mage. Ryan is quickly coming down. If he can just get another burn spell, then Rob is toast here. Rob manifesting another creature off the top, and it's an actual creature. It is a Boros Reckoner, and flipping that. And it looks like Rob is going to flip it with the paying the manifest cost, and he's going to gain 2 life off the Mastery of the Unseen, bringing him up to 6, but he still falls lethal to another 3 damage burn spell aimed at his face. He can't afford anything now. He's going to crash in for 4 damage at Ryan. Ryan falls to 15. He's got a last bit gambit, a Wizard's Lightning, 3 at your face. Here's a light up the stage. All it needs is 3 more damage. There's another light up the stage. And a Roast. He's going to cast the light up the stage 1 more time. 2 off the top. It's a Soulscar Mage on a land. Oh, that's rough. A Roast is going to pick off that Boros Reckoner, and it's going to deal 5 damage to Ryan. Ryan falls to 10. and he passes the turn back to Rob. All Ryan needs is another 3 damage spell, a lightning strike, a this, a that. What could it be? Rob is counting up his lands. He's counting up the mana, and that's always scary when you're playing against White Devotion. Here's 4 in at Ryan, bringing him down to 6. And here's Rob showing the Walking Ballista. That's going to finish off the game and take the match. And the match is going to go to Rob Pisano. Holy crap. That Settle the Wreckage just completely blew out the game. And I know Ryan wasn't expecting it because I wasn't expecting it. And wow, what a match. But that's going to be it for us this time on Phat Pack Magic. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. Make sure you hit that notification bell, tap subscribe so you know when I come out with my newest videos, and leave a like, not just for me, but for my players too. And if you love behind the scenes footage, come check us out at Instagram where we post up all kinds of stuff. Also, if you like this content and you want to support us, please check us out on Patreon. We've got really cool tiers that give you free stuff like Unstable Basic Lands, signed by me of course, and these amazing one-of-a-kind playmats that are exclusive only to the Phat Pack Magic Patreon. But until next time, may all your packs be fat.